Actually, before we talk about WWDC, I think it's worth saying that there's some HomeKit stuff happened today. And in fact, Serenity has been already hard at work all morning testing some of this stuff. So there's new hardware.
There is. After, it's been just about a year since Apple announced HomeKit at last WWDC, actually. And throughout that year, manufacturers and third-party accessory makers have been busy at work getting their stuff certified and ready to actually launch. We saw some devices at CES, including some stuff from Insopio and a couple other manufacturers. But as of today, as of June 2nd, there are actual HomeKit devices in stores, on the market, and available for pre-order, with a lot more coming soon. Now, I think there are, Rene, correct me if I'm wrong, there are 5 to start off with.
Yep.
We collected, including the Ecobee 3 thermostat, a couple of, I forget what the central hub, I think it's Insteon central hub.
Insteon, yeah.
Insteon, yeah. There we go. I missed the T. Insteon, as well as the Lumion Cassetta, which is the one that I have been testing. That was the one that was available in the Apple Store today. So I drove over to the Apple Store in Providence.
Kidding. Wow.
Yeah, 10 a.m. I walk in right after they open the doors, and I'm like, hey.
That's dedication.
So, yeah, I went up to their manager. I felt kind of bad. I was like, so here's the deal. You probably don't have this on your shelves yet. You probably don't even know it exists.
Oh, no, we have one in the back here. Let me get it for you.
Yeah, our back of house. Yeah. He was like, let me go talk to my guy. And then he came out. He's like, I didn't even know we had these.
Well, it just came in. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is a company called, this is probably well known to most people who do this kind of thing, Lutron. And
yes.
It's called Cassetta, and it's for wireless lighting specifically, right? It does do anything besides lighting?
Yeah, so it does wireless lighting and blinds, and it also hooks up with a couple of thermostats. At least in the app, it says that it works with both the Honeywell and the Nest. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try out the Nest later today. We'll see if the Nest works with Siri. Fingers crossed. That would be cool.
But this is what we always talk about in the Smart Things ad, which is, okay, so now you've got your lights and blinds and maybe your thermostat, but that's another app on your phone, and then there's another app. So does HomeKit kind of eliminate that? Is Apple becoming the hub that talks to all these things?
Yeah, that's the general idea. So you still need the individual apps to set up those devices. They all have their own, of course. There's various pairing, and you still have to hook up a hub to your Ethernet router. But once you've gotten it set up, and once you've set up the names of these apps and what rooms they belong to, then it hooks into this central HomeKit Siri system. So I actually just finished an article on how to use Siri with your HomeKit accessories. And basically, once you set up your HomeKit accessories, you can put them into rooms and zones that Siri recognizes. So, for instance, my Lutron here that's loading, I have got a couple different setups for rooms and zones. I've got 2 rooms called the Space Shuttle and the Rec Room, respectively.
You have a space shuttle in your apartment?
I do.
So cool.
I do.
I can't have a hot plate in my apartment.
The benefits of Boston. Yeah. So you can name them anything, which is really fun. Rene, of course, has been joking for years that he wants a Crash the Compound. And sadly, that doesn't quite work. Siri does require that you say turn on, turn off, dim, or set to a certain number or percentage. So it's not that cool, but you can still use custom names. So if I get on Siri here, I think this one is
you can say turn on the Space Shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn on the Space Shuttle.
Oh! Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice. It did. It worked. That's I have seen so many of these
dim
demos.
the Space Shuttle to 65. That might not work. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, it did.
I set the Space Shuttle light to 65.
Turn off the Space Shuttle.
Okay.
Nice.
Turn off.
And then you can, so that's the individual room, and the room can be multiple devices, including lights, including blinds, including thermostats, and you can set scenes. I haven't been able to make scenes work with Siri yet. I think it's just set up to use rooms and zones. But in theory, especially since HomeKit and the HomeKit devices support programmable scenes, I'm kind of hoping that in the future, you'll be able to be like, set the lights to 65 when I leave my house. and it'll be able to combine geofencing with that. It doesn't do that yet, but I kind of wish it would.
Yeah.
The one major bummer besides that as well is that if I go,
She's talking to her watch now, folks.
Yeah, I am talking to my watch right now. If I pick up my watch and I go turn the space shuttle lights on, my watch says, I can help you control your home when you use handoff for iPhone.
Oh, so you have to hand it off.
Womp, womp, womp. Yeah. So I'm I'm hoping that that's a temporary thing, because really I want to be able to control my lights with my watch.
Right.
Come on.
Doesn't seem like
there's an app.
Yeah.
There's an app for my HomeKit setup. There's just not Siri integration. Just sad. But overall, like the fact that I can pick up my phone and be like, set the lights to 65 is really cool.
I agree.
And I can't wait to try it out with the thermostat too. Because I love the idea of, like, if I'm bundled up and shivering on my couch, I'm like, it's too cold. Siri, set the thermostat to 72. Oh, laziness.
But we should mention, this is not unique to Apple. This is Apple's first entry into this, but this kind of
true.
Others have been able to do this. Dr. Mom's telling me that her Amazon
The Echo.
The Alexa, Amazon Echo can talk to smart things. So you could, and actually that's even cooler because it's sitting right there and you could talk to it and it will do all that stuff.
There's one downside that you and I might run into, Leo, and that's you need new hardware for the hub. So we have Hue lights.
Yeah.
So we're probably gonna have to replace that little white box because Apple's requiring end-to-end encryption for all the communications to protect passwords and things like that. And most of these devices weren't built with a secure Bluetooth or secure Wi-Fi chips to begin with. So the new versions, like there's an Ecobee 3, it's already on the market, but the one that's shipping in July is the same exact thing, but with those secure chips inside it. So if you want to use the functionality for HomeKit and Siri, you'll have to replace not everything, like not the lights and not speakers and not a lot of stuff, but the little hub or whatever they call the box that goes with it, the hub or the bridge or, that component.
The little bitty hub.
Yeah.
Yeah.